All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Chongqing Major Regional Qualifier South American region, to be specific in this case. That's right, we got some Group B action that'll be coming at you. 8 teams enter. 2 of these teams going to the major, that is the Chongqing Major, and looking forward to that. Of course, going to be taking place in China. A little bit down the line. For now, we'll have a minor event in between, but no doubt a big deal. The second major of what I believe is supposed to be 5, if I'm not mistaken, in total during this DPC season. I'm BreakyCPK, going to be your caster throughout today and throughout some coverage here of the South America regions. These next 3 days, these 8 teams going to be battling out for those 2 spots once again. Yes, that's right. Again, 2 spots from South America, as was the first major, and again, announced going into the season. That'll be the case all throughout. So no doubt you got your favorite team, that is Pain Gaming. Then it gets interesting in terms of who really is going to claim that second spot. You know, if Pain Gaming gets that first spot, by no means is that guaranteed, but you get the point. So it is very open, and these 2 teams right here are no doubt contesters for that spot in ThunderP taking on Infamous Gaming here in this best out of 3. Of course, on top of all of this, patch 7.20 is here, and we have some crazy stuff already happening. Obviously, the qualifier started really about 12 hours ago with the Southeast Asian region and then CIS earlier today. I personally have been chiming into a couple of the casts and taking a look to see how things are going on. The game is different. It goes without saying. If you're tuning in right now, you haven't played for about a week, you're like, all right, I'm going to watch some Dota, major qualifiers after all, and for some reason you didn't hear about the 7.20 patch coming out. Boy, oh boy, are things going to be a bit different from the map itself to hero reworks across the board. I assume most that are watching at least have a general idea of what took place. But we're already seeing a little bit of it in the draft. Kinda, not really. I mean, this is the thing. When a patch does come out like this that's on the scale, yes, you expect to see changes, but at the same time, with this being such a big event, less than a week preparation with new patch, you still almost expect to see a lot of similar picks from said previous patch as that comfort factor before people really figure things out. And I think there's a little bit of that going on right here with the first couple of picks at least. We had the first pick Undying for Infamous Gaming, followed by the Phoenix Magnus coming out for ThunderP, and now Rubik, the second pick for Infamous. So our first 2 picks on either side are complete. The bands just about finished. In fact, you take a look at those bands, that's where things are most certainly different. The Grimstroke Axe and Bane, and then Lone Druid Lich, as well as Dazzle taken out on top of that. So we did also have patch 7.20C that came out yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe the day before. But the point is that also made some balancing changes, some tweaks across the board in terms of a lot of these heroes. So that's something else to take into consideration. Guys, I'm going to do my best to be up to date with all these changes, but obviously it is very difficult with so much of it happening. But I do got my reference over here to make sure that if anything really is standing out and important, let you guys know. But the point is, we got a best of 3. This is game number 1 here in it. We got the third pick to come for ThunderP. They're going to go the Slark route. So this is a hero that was probably one of the most attention-seeked heroes of patch 7.20. I think in a lot of ways you could argue that he was probably the most buffed out of any hero in the game with said patch. Now, he did get nerfed in 7.20C as a result of maybe the overbuff, which is understandable. In fact, across the board, things were toned down a little bit. Still, he is seen as a pretty overall powerful hero. The whole new leash mechanic is something that he's taking advantage of as well. It's a bit more difficult to get out of said pounce ability. So it seems like Sark is much, much more of a reliable pick. And really with these faster-paced games, I think that's something else that we all have noticed, or again, if you haven't been necessarily watching, the games have picked up. Things are fast-paced. Things are flying left and right. A lot of ganks happening, a lot of this roaming strategy, a lot of possible trial lanes to be coming out even. On top of it all, in my opinion, from what I've seen, games seem like the last 25 to 30 minutes is when we usually have a victor decided. Sure, there are some longer games, and I actually had the opportunity to cast. It was 3 best-of-3s literally the day after 7.20 came out. One of the games did go an hour long. All the others were in about that 30-minute range. So longer games still possible, but it seems like the overall theme is quite faster paced. We do have a Naga Siren coming out 3rd pick on the side of Infamous, then the immediate Tusk pick for Thunder Predator. Tusk interesting as far as against the Rubik, you know, they trap you in with the ice shards, he can lift and throw you away, but at the same time, even throw you on the other side to make it difficult. But in general, Tusk, pretty good hero. And again, yet another hero that obviously got not only some buffs, but a bit of a rework in said patch. I'm looking back at that Naga Siren, though, in terms of her being picked up for Infamous Gaming, and I'm very curious if this is going to be a core Naga, or I guess it would have to be in this case, right? Because you already have the Undying and the Rubik. Figure those are going to be your supports. Naga Siren core makes the most sense. I know she is another one that has been trialed a bit post-patch and considered to rise the ranks in terms of a very relevant hero once again on the scene. I'll let you determine if that's good or bad, but it is nice to see, again, heroes that we haven't seen for a while kind of coming back in terms of the competitive scene. Sand King, yet another one. I feel like I'm going to be doing this a lot. I'm trying not to overdo it, but another hero that got some reworks. Of course, that new Sandstorm and how it works. It also buffs across the table for him. Sand King, one of the most iconic heroes in the game, so personally, again, excited to see him back as a very relevant hero. Big epicenters to come, so looking forward to seeing Infamous playing it here as potentially an offlane Sand King. If I had to guess, so looking like a core Naga as far as the 1 position, offlane Sand King, and still needing their mid. Assume it's going to be the same side on Thunder Predator. Phoenix Tusk support, Magnus offlane, Slark position 1. So mid heroes to come, ban on either side. Before we get said mid hero, it's going to be Infamous with the first of the last picks. And then Thunder Predator will have that ultimate response. Of course, by the way, we didn't really talk too much about these lineups, but on either side, very recognizable names when it comes to South American Dota. Names like Whisper, Schofield, Papita, Tomato, and Moose on the side of Infamous, all 5 of those players even. Names that, again, you would recognize if you follow the South American scene. Tomato specifically, I've always been a fan of this guy going back a year and a half now, 2 years really. He's been breaking through into the competitive scene. Still a much younger player. I'm not exactly how old he is off the top of my head now, but back to you. It looks like he's 18. So yeah, I was going to say, I believe he was around 16 when I first met him a couple years ago. Very mature for his age as far as talking. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, very mature in-game. They all have their issues when it comes to in-game, maybe some attitude and stuff, but I feel like he's been trying to really find his home. He's been mixing it up a little bit, playing a little bit for some North American teams here and there, but once again, finding himself in a full-on South American team. That is Infamous Gaming going into the season, and they're looking to have their breakthrough. As far as qualifying for this major, of course, what would be one of the 2 teams to qualify in South America. But point is, goes back to they still need their mid hero, which will be in the hands of Papita, who is their mid player. Happens to be the captain after all as well. On the other side, Thunder Predator, Atune is no doubt a name to recognize. He, of course, the player that, well, let's just say has some interesting history when it comes to Meepo specifically. So, and that whole the armlet toggle, etc. But playing here for Thunder Predator, and we'll see what hero he potentially ends up on. If he's not on the Slark, that is. I guess one of these teams that kind of switches it up a bit. But Infamous trying to think of their final ban. Tinker the ban on the side of Thunder Predator. Ember Spirit coming out for Infamous, meanwhile. Does that mean possibly like a TA to come for Infamous? Maybe more. I feel like they need definitely more of a tempo setter. You have a Naga Siren core on your side, going to be that position 1. It would seem like you want a mid hero that's going to be able to be aggressive early on. You don't want like an Invoker. Instead, you want that TA. Maybe, okay, they're going to go the Tiny route over here on the side of Infamous. And now Thunder Predator has their chance to react to said pickup, but Tiny, the choice. Tiny was one of those, it was kind of hard to truly feel in terms of the changes that he got, the rework to Avalanche, and how it works with the stuns. I personally haven't been watching enough or getting enough opinions to know if it's considered a buff or a bit of a nerf, but obviously being picked up here by Infamous, so clearly they like the hero and where he is at right now, but interesting to see it. I assume it's going to be in that mid unless they, I suppose they could do a Naga mid if maybe the matchup calls for it, but right now I lean towards the tiny mid, and interesting. Cannot say I saw that hero coming with the Batrider. So Batrider final pick. I guess they felt they needed a little more of that pick-off potential, a little more initiation. When it comes to the laning phase, you know, Batrider obviously does pretty well in a lot of matchups. Now, I assume against something like if he's matched up against a tiny here in that mid lane, liking that, but actually it doesn't look like, from what I'm seeing here in terms of who usually plays well, Frank is their support, so Jamari, their mid player, so it's going to be the Magnus mid, and it'll end up being Prada on the Phoenix, so they end up picking a support Batrider last right here. The lasso, not necessarily something that's going to be stopped easily either, so they got that going for them. Not really that good at assisting for killing a tombstone. That's one a slight concern that Thunder Predator has right now, being able to take out tombstones quickly outside of maybe that Slark. But overall, interesting draft. That's how I'm going to put it now. You know, at the same time with patch 7.2, I'm not going to sit here and try to overanalyze a draft because, frankly, I don't really know. And I don't think a lot of people really know right now when it comes to these drafts. It's really in that theory crafting stage. You know, we don't really have the examples to go over. The game is different, so trying to reference even previous patches or just a week ago is almost silly in a lot of ways. So we're going to just enjoy this together and see how it all plays out between Infamous and Thunder Predator. But I got to say, I'm super excited to be casting once again with this new patch, the regional qualifiers after all for the Chongqing Major. And, of course, going to be in China in about 2 months from now. Let's see. When is it? The actual main event. It'll be later on in January. So, yeah, in just under 2 months from now when the major is going to be taking place. Of course, there is the Bucharest Minor. That'll be happening in between. As you know, this DPC season, you have the Bucharest, or you have the minor winner then qualifying for the major as well. So, the minor qualifiers should be shortly after these major qualifiers. So we're once again in that cycle of plenty of Dota going to be coming at you over the next 2 to 3 weeks here, especially in that online format, and get to experience this new patch and everything quite a bit. So again, you look at the new map changes. I'm not going to sit here and to go over all the map changes. I'm sure you've been watching some videos or playing plenty yourselves, but this rune, excuse me, is still the very interesting one to me. Curious to see how teams kind of adapt to it. It's really a case of, if you're the Radiant, trying to steal this rune seems pretty difficult, man, because obviously as a Dire, you can just sit on the uphill very easily and not have to worry about being spotted and eventually collapse down and take said rune or gank if they are being over-aggressive. Kind of like this with the Phoenix. Now, Phoenix does have the Icarus dive. He can level up if he feels it necessary. So I don't think he's necessarily in the most dangerous spot. Okay, very interesting. It's actually... So it is Whisper playing the Tiny. If I'm not mistaken... Well, okay, yeah, you know, I thought this too. On Wikipedia, it says Papita's there 2, and Whisper's there 3. But... the battle begins. I thought I remember seeing Whisper playing a bit of a 2 recently as well. I might be wrong on that, but either way, he is going to be on the Tiny mid, and they send Papita on the offlane Sand King here as he heads towards that bottom lane. Already has the early drums queued up. Drums seem like an item that got plenty of buffed, and especially with that new build of the Crown, a very basic item with a +4 to stats to build set items like the drums. A popular item that we can expect to see coming here in competitive games. But it is going to be a defensive trial, and this, yet again, is something else. Expectations as far as the patch goes. The idea of these trial lanes with the whole new map and the way the game plays right now, protect that position 1 core at all costs. In this case, the Naga Siren in the hands of Tomato. You look at the Undying and Rubik, they got those fire spirits on them, so attacking a little slow, but in fact, Schofield, he's got 5 stacks of that sticky napalm. It almost feels like them going in and harassing as much as they are is backfiring a bit. Maybe not so much for Undying, but Rubik's the one has to be a little bit careful. Schofield does let the stacks remove, though, and will be fine for the time being. But Magnus versus the Tiny is our mid lane matchup. Right now, Magnus 7-2 versus a Tiny that is 4-1. So Magnus having the slight advantage after the first couple of creep waves, but with that big tree of Tiny, you'd figure he's going to do just fine. Bottom lane, Attune on Slark. He's doing just fine at 7-6 now. 6-9. Sand King has 0-0 creep score so far. So Sand King left alone at the bottom lane. It is a 1 versus 2. Tusk here to support the Slark. Proven to be a very difficult task in terms of getting said CS. So this aggressive dual lane being ran by the Radiant team. Meanwhile, in fact, you see Prada somewhat pulling the creep wave, manipulating the lane. He'll actually TP back to the tower and let the lane do its thing. So Tomato tanking the creeps underneath the tower for the time being as an adaptation. But yeah, so Thunder Predator, they're making the change of trying to at least let Phoenix get some far. But I suppose Phoenix or Batrider are both getting no CS as well. So this is where that question comes into play. Is it worth having 2 heroes up here when you could just have one, maybe try to soak up some experience, and the other really pushing out Sand King at the bottom? But it's not like Sand King's also getting some good farm. So Trilane on one side is a 2-1-2 on the other for the time being. Magnus has got that bottle early on, just running at Tiny. Using that Empower buff, of course, now level 2. Take advantage of some last hitting. Wrapping around is Rubik. Schofield trying to be a little sneaky. There is no vision here in the middle as far as wards go. On the Radiant side, Avalanche going to come out. There's those mini stuns happening. The toss back, Magnus cannot skewer. He doesn't have it leveled up just yet. Going to be tossed back in. This is going to be first blood, and it'll be going the way of Tiny. The final auto attack Whisper. No tree needed. He will pick it up. Apologize. Kind of drink some water here. Got to keep hydrated for these casts. 22-12 though on Slark. So it continues to be very impressive for Attune when it comes to his last hitting, and looking very good as far as the early start is concerned. And he's going to be taking a stun right there with his Tusk teammate nearby. But ultimately we'll be fine, as the Slark will call for a pause. So only one kill really happened to be the first blood, of course, as we're now approaching 4 minutes into the game. Now the pace looking pretty good for the Radiant when it comes to CS, but that mid kill obviously pretty important as well. Right now Magnus, he does have a bracer, however, to help out against possible jump once again. So like I said, we saw that we saw the new Avalanche there of those mini stuns, not necessarily that burst stun all at once, and we're going to see it yet again right here. Slowing him down, allows him to toss him away, and he just goes over and bottles up that Arcane Rune. So Magnus with his own bottle, choosing not to level Skewer though, even despite dying previously. We'll see if maybe he gets it at level 5, or if he's just going to say, you know, it's not worth it. I feel like it is though, because if they send the Rubik once again in the middle lane, and they do that combo, he just has no way to get out. We see that Sandstorm, by the way, Pepita, using that down here at the bottom lane. Ashar block coming in, but the Sand King's done onto the rotation from Schofield. The Tombstone put down. Phoenix trying to kill it in time. He's not doing enough damage, though. It's going on slowly but surely. Puts an auto attack on the Moose, but Moose will survive with those decay charges. The Icarus dive forward. He is going to live in the end, as Phoenix also Icarus dives back and will run away. So nobody dying here just yet. It's not over, though. Schofield, he's still kind of pulling the creep wave. And he's going to end up running into Attune right now, who is unable to get in range for a pounce, though. So Schofield, he's pulling the creep wave. They know exactly where he's going. I don't know if they're going to be able to cut him off. And meanwhile, the bounty runes spawn and it looks like Infamous does a good job of getting 3 of the 4 bounty runes in the end. However, Schofield, he is going to be slowed down a bit. Again, there's that tag team coming into play. No more Frozen Sigil for Tusk, but in that case, not nearly enough pressure, and Tusk will ultimately survive right there. But yeah, that new tag team ability kind of brings that whole core Tusk potential as far as a possible reality. But I still expect if he is going to be picked up in the competitive scene to be seen more of that support. If anything, you know, more solo kill potential, I guess, is another way to look at it when it comes to the Tusk being played here. Love seeing this new Sandstorm change, by the way. The idea that Sand King can just move around in said Sandstorm and much more freedom to work with there. As Hastrun spawns, there's that toss combo once again. And obviously he has a skewer now, but it is going to be on cooldown for quite a bit longer. Only level 1, long cooldown. Whisper, toss in 3 seconds. I think this is easily another kill. He's on that last hit. He could throw the tree. He is going to do it. He tried to get denied by the Ancients. Not going to be in time, though. So Whisper will pick it up and gets the 2nd kill of the game now. He is 1-0-1 himself. Safe to say Whisper's having a great time there in that middle lane. In fact, you check over the net worth. No surprise, he is top on net worth at 3,300. But Slark looking very good once again, Attune. He's quite the farm himself. Look at Whisper, by the way. Okay, he is going to upgrade his boots first. I was going to say, he had 1,400 gold. He might just be going straight for that Blink Dagger. But no, he is going to upgrade the boots first. Sending out said Courier. Top lane, Tomato. Tomato heals on up with a salve and TP's back. Schofield, not as easy, though. He gets run down. The tag team once again coming into play. Allowing for some bonus damage in the slow. Rubik could not live through that. So Tomato just TP'd over to the shrine and looks to jungle here for the time being. Matthew wants to try to steal some of that CS. See that Riptide. Again, the whole passive Riptide now. As far as the proc chance goes, Tiny does get those phase boots delivered. This is something else. Phase boots and power treads now, and which heroes pick up what the preference is nowadays. It's all changed, man. The game has changed. This is what I go back to, as I talked about earlier on. So Tiny, we see him with those phase boots, and now the Blink Dagger. Queued up, of course. I expect to see that sooner than later. But Nagasard, he's just going to build up some Wraith Bands. This is an item that did get nerfed in just yesterday with 7.20C. Very slight nerf, sure, but we clearly were seeing, especially agility heroes, were just 3-4 Wraith Band builds early on in the game. It was just such good value to have. So not surprised to see that nerf, but it still feels like an item that we're potentially going to see a bit of on most of these core heroes, honestly. And right now we see that here on Nagasard. As far as the early build goes, ooh, Pepita goes down to the bottom lane. Toon and Prana come together. Looks like they landed that pounce, and Sand King could not get away. That new pounce coming into play. Able to drop him as Tiny continues his CS in the middle lane. Top lane, Lasso, our first one of the game, going to pull back in Schofield. Burn is happening, only 2 stacks of that sticky napalm, though. Snowball in, Matthew running in with the tag team. However, the avalanche from Whisper tosses him up in the air with the lift from Rubik. Matthew, he is getting low, but so is Schofield. Still, the Fade Bolt's not going to be enough damage either. Now Frank, he's flying over the trees. That's eventually going to come down with a Firefly, and he can only run so far. He puts down a tree, hoping a juke right here. That's not going to work, buddy. Albeit a clever idea. Nagasard gets credit for the kill. Ultimately a turn onto the Bat Rider at the top lane. Now, let's not forget, it technically is a support Bat Rider, although he's 3rd in net worth on his team right now. So I suppose Prada is ultimately playing the true support for the team. I'm not very familiar with these teams. I do apologize on that. However, according to Wikipedia, Prada is their 3-player, and Bat Rider Frank is their main support. So either, you know, that happens to be wrong, or they just simply are making the adjustments for this game. I suppose I'll find out eventually if anyone wants to point that out so I can use for future reference. But point is, Bat Rider is taking the farm here, and he does have the early drums. I expect to see, of course, that Blink Dagger coming in as a follow-up. Smoke gank play. We have an Undying and a Tiny wrapping around. They might want to save their teammate, though. I don't think they're going to get here in time. Sand King, Pepita just stuns on in, maybe trying to buy some time for them to come. Not in time, though. 10-minute batteries do spawn, but now here we go. Shadow Dance proc by a tune. Matthew, he's definitely dead. Can they get the kill on a Prada as well? He just Icarus dives away. He'll be fine. And Slark helping to control those bounty runes in the meantime with Magnus coming over. So Infamous does end up getting a turn kill there, at least. Not the most action-packed game here, Leon. 4-3 hero kills at 10.5 minutes now, but you expect it's going to start picking up. We got the Blink Dagger on Tiny just around the corner. Magnus, I assume, no, he is going to go the Power Treads first at least. From the look, oh, nope, now he queues up the Blink, so never mind. he was second guessing right there, almost 1,600 gold saved up in that spot of maybe it's best to just get that Blink as soon as possible and get that tempo item online. I kind of like that decision because if he goes the Power Treads first, this Blink Dagger on Tiny is going to be happening for a good 2-3 minutes at least before he has his. Instead, he'll have it at almost the same time, if not the same time, but bottom lane, they're definitely setting up. Slark, he has a Shadow Aim there for now, so no full Shadow Blade yet. Although we only had in a power buff at least. Pounce is going to be just out of range of Dark Pack, but now the lift tap is Dark Pack 2 more seconds. He doesn't have a Shadow Dance actually for a couple seconds either. Can they burn him down fast enough? No, they cannot. A Tune will survive. He pops his Shadow Dance and now he's going back in. The Tombstone put down though. Matthew trying to kill it with Prada right here on Phoenix, and they aren't going to be able to do so. No repeal. Going to keep it alive. Icarus dive forward. Whisper's in trouble. Those fire spirits. He tosses up the Phoenix, so gets the kill. He will go down in response, and Frank just supplying that sticky napalm. Matthew running back in again. The tag team slow debuff as well as a sticky napalm. They just can't freaking get away. Tune's thinking about it, but deciding better up diving right there. They make it a 2-kill, though, with Tiny and Undying going down at the bottom lane. Naga Siren was putting pressure at the top tower during that, and Tomato farming elsewhere, but still an excellent fight for Thunder Predator. And you got Magnus now, who's having a Blink Dagger delivered to him, so he will have the Blink Dagger now before the Tiny at this time, and that's fantastic news if you're a Thunder Predator right here. So he's got that RP ready to go. As Tiny makes his way back to the middle, how is Naga going to build? We know about the Wraith Bands. All right, so it does get the triple Wraith Band, as well as the Phase Boots. Excuse me. Going to go with the Diffusal next. Makes sense. So it feels like we're going to just see a bit of the old school Naga Siren. Kinda. I wonder if he still goes to Radiance on this new Naga Siren. I don't think the ability's necessarily changed enough for that not to be the case, but oh my god. Slark almost down to the inches, by the way. The Tombstone goes down, but luckily a Tune pounces away just before the zombie is in chase, but ultimately a Tune will survive here. Top lane. Lasso in. Rubik's caught. The egg as well from Phoenix. Sets up for the easy kill. So they double ultimate for that support kill, but still, they get the kill. And now going to put some pressure on the tower. Tomato, he'll just keep pushing out the lane the best he can in the meantime. Yeah, this Naga Siren already seems very difficult to kill, as Pepita does go down to the bottom lane. Whisper looking for the turn kill on a Slark. It's not easy, though. Tune, he's getting low. RP not in time. Jamari comes up with a new Blink. Can at least they get some turn the skewer backwards. Whisper just simply walking away. Those Phase Boots helping a little bit. Will it be enough? Maybe go for the turn kill before he dies. You know, let the kill Tusk. Whisper's still alive for the time being. The Avalanche comes out on Whisper. Will survive in the long run. He has a Blink as well, just in case. Jamari now, he's the one in trouble all of a sudden. There's the toss back in. One more hit should be all that's needed on Dynas, running after him with that new Flesh Golem. And down goes Magnus. Schofield dove for this. I mean, 4 are currently dead. It might be a 5th. Prada, one, maybe a couple of auto attacks away for death, just lays down an egg just because why not? Tombstone goes down though, and Prada, he is no doubt dead. A triple kill for Schofield. He stole the Empower, by the way, during that and using it against them. Oh boy, what a wipe in favor of Infamous across the board. That fight recap, yeah, looking pretty good if you're Infamous there. Batrider even going down elsewhere in the meantime. So nearly a 2,000 net worth swing in their favor, and well, that's basically the lead that they have right now. As Naga Siren, she almost has that diffusal blade, excuse me. And that with the Song of the Siren, she is no doubt going to be ready to fight. So she is delivering that here. Song of the Siren going to allow for either the getaway or, of course, the setup. Now, when it comes to setting up, I suppose this team is okay. They can lay down a Tombstone in a good spot, get that Epicenter initiation. Speaking of that, how's Pepita doing? Did go the drums first, as we knew. Picked up Tranquil. Isn't necessarily rushing the Blink Dagger. I'm definitely fine with that. You already have a Tiny who's got that Blink now. You're not looking to rush it. You have a song set up as well. So I think the idea of him getting more of these stat-based items earlier on makes a lot of sense, actually. Here's that smoke play, though. There was no vision in the middle lane. Infamous looking for an opening. They might find one here. This is, even though you have a song set up, this is a scary team-to-team fight into. Now, they're going to be pinked out, so Jamari does have his RP. Tombstone put down. They're going to lift up on the Magnus. Going for the combo. He skewers away. The Whisper's in a bad spot now. He's in no man's land. Can they get the song off in time? Yes, she will pop it eventually. The lasso hit. But Tamano's kind of running away. The egg way in the background. Whisper is still low. Able to make it out, though. The song wears off. The RP, oh, he hit nothing. Jamari thought he could blink in, but something disabled it. Meanwhile, the initiation from Tusk as well as Slark. They're going to be coming down the shadow, and it's not going to save Slark. Maybe Yellow will, just barely, as he pounces away. The epicenter going off right as he pounced over the ledge. So they lose Tusk, considering how ugly that was for Thunder Predator. Only losing one is not the biggest deal. Now, we're not done just yet. Tomato in pursuit. The ensnare comes out, and those Riptide procs, man. He just gets bursted down simply by surrounded by Naga Siren. And so they end up losing two, I suppose. Well, maybe making a third. Are they really going to catch the Slark? They sure are, buddy. Dominating streak for Schofield now. He did steal the RP, by the way. It wasn't necessary there, though. He's going to have an RP, and he also has a Blink Dagger for the next fight. Uh-oh. That's scary. Infamous, considering what just happened right there, I'm a little surprised to see them only up 1,000 net worth. This chart looks a little more dramatic than it really is. I mean, it's only 2,000 up here, but yeah, overall the net worth has been very even this game. I guess all three cores are doing very well for the Radiant squad, but I can't wait for that RP from Rubik, man. You know that's going to be coming. You know it's going to be happening any second right now. Oh, I thought he was going right there. Anyways, they jump the Tusk with the Sand King. Easy Burrow Strike, easy kill. Rubik still looking for his opening. Buyback from the Tusk. Pounce up on moves, but he's got the Tombstone protection. And Radiant squad not comfortable pushing into that. Understandably, they're staying back 25 more seconds for the RP on Magnus. Rubik understandably keeping the RP. He is losing time on it, though, so it looks like they're pinging out the Shrine. That's if they want to reset to it, maybe for the Undying. But it seems like you want to take advantage of this RP steal. Here we go. They're coming back in. Naga setup. Oh, boy, here we go. The RP, you know it's coming, baby. You know it's coming. Schofield, wait for the... Oh, he didn't go fast enough. He tried to make the maximum efficiency, and he only caught one. Now the turn with the RP from Magnus. The Supernova on top of that, and it's Thunder Predator, the one that's winning the fight. They take on the Sand King. They're going to drop Whisper. They're going to drop moves. It was setting up so perfectly for Infamous. But he waited just a little bit too long, trying to be too flashy there. Naga Siren's already out. Schofield's also going to die. Well, maybe not. The Icarus dive. And an Invis Rune, I suppose, could keep him alive. So he will serve. Oh, the Ice Shards. But doesn't connect. So he will manage to stay alive for the time being. But now Naga Siren's being hunted out. And they catch him. Lasso brings him in. The Pounce Dark Pact. He is tanky. Not tanky enough. Walrus Punch to finish the job. And what was seeming like Infamous was just going to start taking a lead big time there is not the case. A turn by Thunder Predator. The RP from the true RP god that is Magnus. And they ultimately kill all 5 heroes. I guess they didn't get Rubik in the end, but they kill 4 of the 5 heroes. Sand King obviously right there does kill Phoenix.
Dire's top tower is
at the last second, but Slark, he's got a Shadow Blade. He's working on a BKB. Once he has the BKB, that's going to feel pretty unstoppable this game. By the way, how many charges does he have? He has, well, +3 agility. Not really charge. More so that permanent agility he now gets, of course, because why not? One of several that they added in. The Underlord's another one with the Atrophiara and Lion. That's probably the most sexy one. +50 damage on his ultimate. Whenever he gets a kill with it, that's pretty fun. More reason to kill steal. Frank trying to cover the 20-minute bounty rune, but Sees Infamous running in, so decides better of it.
Regeneration!
Even after all of that, though, still only, it's a 1,000 net worth lead for Infamous, and a lot of that is this Naga Siren. Again, we really haven't had the most examples, at least in the competitive environment yet, of a farmed Naga Siren and what she truly is capable of, but especially in a Naga versus Slark matchup when it comes to the core versus core. But I still assume Naga, when it comes to late game, she is a very, very scary late game hero. You could, I suppose you'd argue the passive Riptide potentially almost better when it comes to the core late game, not having to worry about activating constantly later on. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not a Naga Siren player, but either way, not been a little Radiance either. That's something I was very curious of course, too, when it comes to the core Naga Siren. But instead, going the Manta style here for said removal. Also, just a nice another split push tool as Tusk is trying to make a getaway, and it looks like he will be able to do so. The entire team got scared there. As we see on the minimap, there wasn't really the most nearby, but it was intimidating enough. They figured he wasn't going to be alone. Tomato, he throws out a song. He wants to kill Batrider. He's going to let the illusions do his bidding. Oh, no, they catch him. They caught him before he could TP. He tried to be too flashy again. Tomato is dead. Oh, no. Oh, boy. Yeah, that was, I'm not sure what the game plan was. It seemed like he wanted to spawn the illusions, have them kill the Batrider while he TP'd away, but the song lasted forever, and that to me seems like one of those, it's a new hero. Okay, it's not a new hero, but the rework hero, you know, obviously maybe doesn't have the most experience recently playing said hero. With a new patch, you're going to try these heroes out. Point is, he probably underestimated how long the ultimate lasted, to be honest. It almost seemed like there. Either way, a bit of a misplay. And Naga Siren does die as a result of that. Doesn't even get the kill on Batrider either. Hannah Midas, meanwhile, coming out for Magnus. All right, buddy. That's interesting. I don't know. Hannah Midas, it did get some buffs, right? Yeah, let's see. Hannah Midas. Wait, did it get a buff? Actually, no, it didn't even get changed. Oh, wait, yes, it did. I apologize. I was looking at the wrong thing. Yeah, Hannah Midas did get a change. Attack speed from 30 to 40. Yeah, that's not really a big change. Huh. Interesting. Either way, wrapping around. Tombstone put down. There you catch the Tusk, but what? That lasso, that did not work out as planned. That looked a little funky. Either way, it stops right there. The RP from Jamari, though, catches a couple at least on top of a two, just beating them down. The Supernova once again as well, but it comes to team fight, man. As I said, this Radiant team is so scary when they bring it all together, and another example of that. You have Tomato still holding his ground, going up to Matthew. They want to kill the Tusk. That was a target they started on in the beginning, and they don't even get him taken out. Naga's going to fall. It's Rubik, the last man standing. And into the Roshan pit we go. Thunder Predator going for the easy Roshan kill now. It's safe to say this should be happening. Naga's not up for another 30 seconds. If without the Magnus, it feels very desperate to try to hold right here. Nobody's TPing in. I guess it's just Rubik right now, but okay, they are TPing over as if they want to go. Tiny, is he going to go for a crazy dive here? Batrider sees him, doesn't give him a chance. Yeah, Toon picks up the Aegis, and they easily get out. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Batrider interaction was. It looked like the lasso just snapped immediately right there. Almost like he tried to pull somebody out that got pounced. Like, would that actually break the lasso? That just seemed weird to me. I would need to watch the replay on that one. Anyway, Slark didn't even use a BKB. He did. He did use a BKB during that fight. So it's down to 9 seconds. He has a full Silver Edge coming out, which You know, even against Nagastar on that break effect, not too bad now. You got the Riptide passive. Take advantage of. Also, the Arcane Supremacy from Rubik also can be annoying from him. As far as a longer stun. I'm still waiting to see this Rubik Bane combination, man. Just giving the minus status resistance to everyone as the initiation from Whisper. Somewhat of a backfire for now. Matthew gets a stub off, and again the RP on top of the Shockwave. Holy crap, the Naga Sleep will happen. The Sunray from a distance. Prada trying to finish the job. Only Sand King dead so far. Are they really fighting this? They are. The RP still from Schofield. It locks on a couple. Tusk dies. He buys back immediately. Batrider, though, not the same story as you have Magnus holding his ground with the Shockwave going on through, killing the illusions. But Attune, he's going to try to beat down Tomato now. They lose the Magnus. Shadow Dance up, pounces, Tomato in place. Can Tomato get away? The answer is absolutely not. Double kill for Attune. Over here, Matthew with that buyback. He wants a kill out of this, damn it. Rubik on the run. Blink is ready. He can't find him, though. Good juke by Schofield. Goes the other direction.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
And looks like Schofield will be fine.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Instead, Slark just going to simply go for the tower. But yeah, you have Slark now with +9 permanent agility on top of the charges he just naturally gets, of course, for the Essence Shift. It seems like going to a late game. That alone, it feels like Slark has to be one of the scariest late game cores now, right? The idea that he's just infinite scaling in that sense. Level 18 as well, the highest level in the game. Has 30 attack speed to go with that 10 strength early on. 1.5 second pounce leash. So that sounds really good now, especially with the change. Wow, Blink finally picked up by Sand King. He did go the drums and a Force Staff for it. I mentioned earlier it seemed like it kind of made sense on paper, but I suppose in hindsight, probably would have wanted the Blink over the Force Staff at this point. Schofield, he gets, well, he blinked, I suppose. He's going to be fine for now, and a Force Staff as well, but they're eventually going to catch up, and that's going to be more farm for Slark, means more Essence Shift stacks for him. Including the permanent side, as he's now up to +10. Yasha coming along for Slark as well. Any reason why I hate to get Kaya and Yasha? Probably not. Probably see the Manta even. Manta, I suppose, is pretty good this game. Several things to remove. Tomato continues to farm. He is working on a heart, and that's going to be pretty strong. A little surprised that over the butterfly, to be honest. I suppose at the same time, the heart. This Shockwave has been doing work as well from Madness of Factory. There's another RP catches. Who was it? That's Tiny right there. Whisper tried to get the kill as well as Papita. Whisper goes down, though. They kill Batrider in the end. So at least they get something out of it. Papita, though, Fire Spirit, he's dead. It does take him down. So they make it a 2-for-1. The gem dropped, and there's that new vision coming into play from the Radiant side. They're going to make sure they go pick that up. Prada will be the one to do so. And it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Thunder Predator once again. Another case of just favoring them. We'll say this, Tomato continues to be top farm in the game, but I suppose with the Nagas are not the craziest thing ever, as Song of the Siren used very defensively right here. Are they going for a setup? We've seen what's happened before, but they don't have an RP to worry about this time. And they are going in. There's the Flesh Golem, but a quick Shadow Dance. And Attune just jets on out of here. Matthew goes the other great shard block as well, but they eventually catch up to Attune, and they are going to kill him. 70 seconds. He'll be dead for. And his Aegis also just was reclaimed about 30 seconds ago. So the timing for Infamous there works out very well for catching Attune.
Dire are
And I go back to my point that this Naga Siren, very farmed. The heart is now finished on the Naga. Schofield looks like found near the Roshan pit.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Obviously, you still have about 2 minutes before Roshan could be up. We'll see how long it actually takes. But yeah, Butterfly was what I was thinking too, and so he is going to get the Butterfly next. Again, Heart makes sense when you look at all the magic damage, the lockdown. I mentioned the Shockwave presence from Magnus, especially with that change. It's no doubt been very annoying for him as well. So I do think the Heart actually was a good pickup first, and the logic is there. But yeah, Butterfly also feels very good this game against the Slark. And right now there's no answer from him. He is going to go with Butterfly himself. And well, it'll be curious if Slark decides to switch that up once he sees the Butterfly being built on Naga. Will he go the MKB instead? Is, of course, the question. As this Courier... Oh, that's a big pick. That's an Ultimate Orb dead. Ultimate Orb belonged to Jamari. Interesting. Oh, Jamari was going to Scythe. He had the Yules queued up for a while. He switches it over to Scythe, and, well, now he's down... Excuse me. Now he's down an Ultimate Orb. For at least the next 2.5 minutes or so. Did he just he canceled that right again. Juking with it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Tiny BKB being worked on at least. Hasn't been the prettiest game for Whisper right here, but he's 5-4-9. No, overall the stat line suggesting he's doing solid. And he's tied with Magnus in net worth right now. It's only behind his Naga crazy farm teammate as well as the Slark on the other side. So yeah, I think it's fair to say he's doing all right. He is a hero where you could see something like that Sanjin Kaya. Still waiting to see it being built as a potentially good item on a hero in a competitive game. Obviously, this is one of the first of the ones in the patch, but you get the point. Anyway, Tusk, you find him in the area, but a bit of a beta you can call it. Whisper's definitely dead. He is stuck it up inside. The RP hits too, and it's going to clean the rest of them up. They'll kill the Tombstone on top of that, so it's a 3-for-0, all because it feels like they've done that several times to the side of Infamous. They try to kill Tusk. I don't know if Matthew insulted them recently or something, but they really want Tusk dead. And yet again, another case of he stays alive, he sets up the turn. He's got a Crimson Guard, man. This guy is farmed. And a pretty tough kill to happen from the Dire team. So might want to think otherwise of that. But oh my god, Naga already has a Butterfly now. Jeez. Tomato is doing a hell of a job of farming on this here. Like we pointed out earlier, the constant use of the illusions from the mirror image. Slark's deciding to go a Eye of Scotty for now. He knows that the Butterfly has been built. Really going to wait to see. I could still see him switching to the MKB, even despite him having an Ultimate Orb right now. Because without an MKB, both a Heart and Butterfly on Naga Siren, she's looking pretty ridiculous in terms of being able to kill her.
Radiant are scanning.
Good news for the Radiant, though. Scythe is just about there for Magnus. Of course, the Courier's up in 8 seconds. He already has the Ultimate Orb. He just needs the staff as well as the Void Stone. 3,100 gold saved up. Again, almost there. As there is the Eye of Scotty finished, actually, from Slark. So he's not going to switch it up. May go the MKB next, but that's still more time now. Top lane. Phoenix gets out before anything happens there. Roshan is up. And the longer the game goes on, though, you're going to see more and more of this from Naga Siren, constantly pushing in the lanes with the with the illusions, especially now with both the Heart and the Butterfly. You have Matthew checking Roshan there. Atuna's in. They have a sentry. Okay, he is going to kill the sentry, and obviously he knows that they can see him. Anyways, a lift happens. Matthew in the mid lane. He just ports out for the illusions. They do catch Slark, though he pops BKB and the Shadow Dance. He's thinking about, does he go in for this or not? He's stuck around, but eventually pounces away, but neither cooldown. He needs to make sure to stay away from here, and this could be a free Roshan for Infamous. I mean, they know both the BKB and Shadow Dance are on cooldown for Slark. Those are obviously almost necessary tools for him in fights. They'll catch Batrider in the meantime, so they lose out some initiation now. And they also catch Slark again. Oh no, Attune, if he dies right here, this could be big time. RP, where is it? You know it's coming though. Magnus, we've seen it land several good ones. Jamari, waiting for the right opportunity. May need to use it defensively right here. Matthew, it looks like they're in the Supernova out to the side. There's a stun though on Magnus. The Supernova, it looks like it will get off in time. It actually stuns a couple. Nagasiren with their sleep, however, at the same time, so allowing for the run, although not for long. They say they do catch up to Tomato, but a tough kill, no doubt. RP, it hits a couple, no, just hit Undying, actually, so not the biggest deal in the world. Lasso, pulling Naga through, but to what? What's the question? Into a Sand King stun as he stuns up the Batrider. Batrider's the one that needs to get on the hell out of tune. He's sitting on top of Tomato. Tomato getting low enough. The Shadow Dance on top of that. Tomato the regen from the heart, as well as a Butterfly kicking it for the evasion. Not enough, though. Attune gets the kill for the double kill. Matthew, that tag team, no doubt, helping as well. And Papito will fall to the shockwave. Schofield makes it out. Schofield does have a lasso. Double buyback from Infamous. They do not want to give up this Roshan. Honestly, that fight, I really didn't think that they were going to be able to kill Nagasiren, but something was actually dropping him. I suppose the Empower buff on Slark is pretty big. And something tells me Tusk did a fair amount of damage there as well, but either way, the buybacks mean Infamous is going back into the Roshan pit, or going to try it even, but not the quickest at doing it. And Tomato
is under attack.
Now looking to find an opportunity elsewhere. Magnus, RP still down for 50 seconds. They still have that lasso on Rubik, by the way, as they burst down Tusk. So finally they get the kill, and that is a gem pickup for Rubik. Tusk buys back, though. Infamous choosing not to commit for Roshan just yet. They probably want to get some vision down. Yep, there you go. They get a nice ward here. Radiant scans the Roshan pit. Remember, you can scan the pit now. Get another change in 7.20, so they see that nobody's there. And they know they don't have to panic run in it just yet. As the Dire scans middle, but I don't think it hit, or maybe it did for a split second.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Nothing on the courier, but it does go down. Naga, of course, using that buyback, so still has 2,200 gold saved up. Look at Slark, though, in his net worth. He has actually caught up to the Nagasiren. Holy crap. He must have got a lot of gold from the last fight. Attune, Sentry once again, though, they catch him. The lasso from Rubik, and down goes Slark. We don't say that often. Lasso from Rubik, another RP though. Jamari catches a couple. The Empower's put up. Slark buys back. He's already looking to come back into the fight. The lasso this time from Batrider. It catches up. Is that Naga? It is. Nagasiren's low. Nagasiren's dead for 110 seconds. She is not buying back, remember. They also catch on the moves. Running away in that Flash Golem for the Crimson Guard buff though from Matthew being applied. Mitigating plenty of damage, no doubt, for the side of Thunder Predator. And now it's Thunder Predator's turn to go for the free Roshan. Perhaps. Buyback from Undying. I mean, Naga's dead, and they know this. They are going to lose Phoenix, though. What is going on? Just several different fights taking place now. But Peter goes down elsewhere. And Magnus TPing over, but Whisper, he will make his way over to the tree. So, yeah, Thunder Predator, I really feel like they should just commit to this. That they're not being stopped. 4 versus 3. No Naga to worry about. Or the Sand King. However, Magnus does get caught looking around, so this is, well, potentially bait, I guess. Whisper now, he could be in trouble. Break effect put up. Attune just sitting on top of him. Tosses him away. Pretty beefy himself. Eventually the Dark Pack, though, and one more auto attack to secure it. 18+ agility for Slark right now, by the way. And they did eventually catch up to Schofield, too. So Naga still has 45 more seconds before he's back up. And now finally Roshan will happen in favor of Thunder Predator. Yeah, I mean, you just look at this 18 agility. Yasha's 16 agility. So he's getting more than a Yasha's worth just because he's killed heroes throughout this game. And there is the
Dire's
MKB
middle
queued
tower
up now,
is
by the
under
way.
attack.
You take a look at the buyback situation.
Dire's middle tower has
Of
fallen.
course, a Toon did have to buy back there. But safe to say, well worth it. Double damage rune spawning here at the bottom. Slark gonna go pick it up as the MKB just around the corner now. Ooh, double damage. That sounds brutal in the hands of Slark. He's level 25, by the way. What did he get? Essence Shift Duration. So those Essence Shift charges now, they are sticking around a long time. He also went the Dark Pack damage over the Pounce Leash. Fair enough there. I think that's one of those either or is probably pretty good, but going the Dark Pact route. Magnus 24, so almost at that 25 mark. Well, I don't know. That's actually a tough call, honestly. The RPs have been so big this game. He had the one that was a bit awkward, but that happens with Blink being canceled. Overall, it's been a very successful RP game, so another second on RP stun sounds pretty strong. However, 20% empowered damage and cleave also sounds really good with this Slark. And for killing all the illusions in general, you're applying it to himself, you know, the Slark, the Tusk. I think we're going to see, if I was him, I'd probably choose the Empower, honestly. But we'll see what he gets. What's a 25 for Naga now? Evasion or Riptide Armor?
Damage.
30% evasion. You do have the MKB now in the hands of Slark, though. I think that alone might force him to go the Riptide Armor.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Which is also decent value against a Slark that has 18 permanent agility right now. Obviously, you see Tomato constantly sending the illusions in. Almost has the Eye of Scotty finished now. This will be a fully slotted Naga Siren. She still could use a Moon Shard. And I suppose she could get rid of the boots for something else. No flutter effect anymore, though, on the butterfly, remember. Anyways, jump in from Sand King, and Pepita immediately regrets his decision. He's down for a minute. Schofield, he takes a sheep, and he's trapped in by the Ice Shards, but Thunder Predator's not going to overcommit for it. Shadow Dance stolen by Ruik. We'll see if he makes use of that. Tombstone put down from Moose on the uphill. It's actually a really good placement, but they kill it off very quickly, so not the best use of his ulti in Tombstone. I think it's safe to say Infamous is in a spot, though, they just got to keep delaying as much as they can. Let Tomato continue to push out games, play the rat game. Try to ultimately win that way is probably the name of the game here for Infamous.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Aegis still has a minute and a half before the reclaim. They catch Whisper, and, well, not much of a chance to get away, I'm guessing. He is heavily slowed. You see how slowly he's turning right there. Yeah, now he's dead for 80 seconds. No buyback. Attune, let's make it 20 permanent agility.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Tusk is almost 25 as well. Granted snowball speed. Assuming he goes the shard cooldown in this case. God, that's insane. So it makes it an 8-second cooldown with a 7-second shard duration. What? Wait, why is there Naga sleep? Huh. I wonder if he just felt scared or something there, because I don't think anyone was really nearby, I suppose. Just in case. Not the craziest long cooldown. It's only 80 seconds right now, level. At level 3. Slark, did he find somebody? He almost found Sand King, but can't connect. Pepita almost has the Axe finished. Aghanim Scepter, that is. Well, so much for the games ending a bit quicker in patch 7.20. You still have a Naga Siren in this game that's been getting very good farm throughout, so it's not surprising that here we are in a 45-minute battle. On top of that, our team has been losing team fights, so playing from behind a lot of the time as Infamous in the later game. And so you know that just obviously creates the whole rat play style, and that's what we're seeing here from Infamous. Middle lane, Phoenix, he's caught. That's an easy kill. Shiva's ain't going to save him there. Oh. He did a jump in middle lane. RP again! Jamari got canceled! He tried to RP. I believe it was a Sandstorm that actually canceled to the Blink Dagger right there. So RP essentially wasted. Skewer was taken by Schofield. Didn't get the RP, but he got something to use.
Regeneration.
That Rider tossed up. He's dead. He even BKB'd for that right there, so down to 9 seconds. That was his first use of it, actually, hoping that he can BKB and quickly force staff away. Not the case, though. And now Infamous, they're pushing out middle. They have Batrider dead for 70. Look at the bottom lane being pushed in as well. This continues to be Thunder Predator's bane, is keeping these lanes pushed out against a very farm Naga Siren.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He did, of course, get bots to replace the face boost, by the way. Didn't mention that, but seen that for a little bit on Tomato. Tier 3 tower goes down. Attune tries to find the jump. Can't connect, though, as Matthew then goes in. And they're kind of committed to this. Skewer backwards. Schofield, there's a Naga sleep. Phoenix is in a very awkward spot. Can they stone him in time? No, they cannot. He got the egg off. Now can they kill that? It's a bit of a distraction. Whisper, he's in trouble. He goes down. The egg's going to end up going off right here. It doesn't really hit anybody, but it forces them to all spread out and run away. They eventually catch up to Naga Siren, though. Naga Siren somewhat isolated. He's by himself. Can they kill the real one in time? Yes, absolutely they can. He buys back immediately, but it continues to be a case of team fight is just so strong on the Radiant side. The Empower buff as well, no doubt doing work. They didn't even need an RP there, by the way, from the Magnus side there. The sleep setups from Naga Siren, that's several times now. We really have not seen the offensive sleep used. We've seen they attempted a couple times, including that one there, but the after they sleep, it's just not really there. I mean, they have it on paper kind of with the Sand King and everything, but we haven't really seen the connection the best. Batrider, BKB is hoping to get out, but again, it's just too much lockdown. As Attune, though, this will be a dieback, remember. Oh boy, Naga Siren, 3 seconds on the bots. Can he actually escape? Can they catch him in time? He needs to RP, he needs to RP! Oh, the RP's there, or even Scythe, I suppose. He had a Scythe, but just didn't have the vision. And Naga Siren escapes in the end. Wow. Easy killing on dying. Crimson Guard applied as they stun in on Attune, but Jamari's way in here. They're gonna end up killing Sand, but who did he catch? That would be Naga. The RP locked, and they really want the kill. Schofield steals a Shockwave, unfortunately. He tried to steal the RP, but a good job of Jamari using Shockwave right after the fact. Walrus punch in. Matthew went a little deep. BKB will prevent the sleep, though, and maybe that's for the worst because they're beating him down, but nice job with the shards. Does keep him alive for now, and Attune jumping back in. The response, they once again catch up to the Naga Siren. Remember, he does not have a buyback. The lasso backwards into a Supernova, splits up with the illusions, but that should be a kill in the end on Tomato. Yes, it will. He's dead for 2 minutes now. Attune running after Papita. Papita's down, and I think we could be seeing possibly something here in the near future from Infamous. Albeit the lanes are pushed in a fair amount, so Thunder Predator's going to have trouble capitalizing on this. They could go for an easy Roshan. It is a Tier 3 Roshan with Refresher Shard ready to go. But this Sark, man, 25 permanent agility. He currently has 35 stacks of Essence Shift. So that's 105 extra agility on top of that. This is without the Empower buff, too. You just see how hard he's hitting.
Top tower is under attack.
Removes the Fire Spirits. And there's the Empower buff.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Late game Slark, ladies and gentlemen.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Tusk, meanwhile, dealing with the Tiny down here. And Tiny, he can try to distract all he wants. That's not going to bait them back. Tomato still has 60 seconds. They're pinging out the tower. I said, let's just finish the game. And I think that's a good call. Sand King still there for 30. That's a massive initiation for them. They're going to use Fortification. There's the lasso catch on Tiny, though. Pulling him backwards. And they drop him. No more status resistance, thank God.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That should do it. GGs are called. Game 1 will go to Thunder Predator over Infamous. Ended up being a hell of a game. We got to see some flashy plays on either side, but it really came down to Thunder Predator did seem like the more impressive coordinated team. They really did. Whether that's their lineup kind of coming together a little cleaner or what, I don't know. But Tomato, as expected, he farmed very well and showed some signs of possibly helping Infamous come back in the later parts of the game with the pushing and everything, but it just wasn't to be. And credit to all of Thunder Predator for playing as a team. And also, obviously, Slark, a very strong hero. Right now in 7.20, didn't even get the nerfs yesterday's patch, but still considered one of the better cores at this time. And Thunder Predator took full advantage of it. So well played by them. Yeah, 25, 4, and 12 on a Slark. And once again, you just 27 plus agility just because. That changed, man. It is ridiculous. All right, though. That is game number 1 in the books. Thunder Predator over Infamous. It is a best of 3, though. Here from some Group B action for the Chongqing Major. I'm BreakyCPK, your caster here on the second stream. Hopefully you enjoyed that first game. No, you did. I sure did. We got game number 2. That'll be coming up here in just a short bit. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.